Hey everybody, so here I'm going in with my Wet n Wild Set Prep and Refresh Spray, and now I'm going in with my concealer. I'm going to go under my eyes, not in a triangle motion. I'm going to go more upwards to raise the face, on my nose, on my forehead, on my chin, and right above my Cupid's bow. Then I'm going to go in with the NYX stick with the contour shade, and I'm going to go right above the hollows of my cheeks on both sides to make sure that I really have those defined. If you haven't figured out already, we are trying the TikTok makeup hack where you put everything on your face at once and then you are going to blend everything together. So I've made sure that I put the contour on my nose and on my forehead, where I usually put my contour or bronzer. Now I'm going in with the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I don't use this very often, but I did decide to use that today, so I'm just putting that where we have spaces where we don't want to highlight or contour. Now I am using my e.l.f. sponge, and I'm going to blend out the foundation first. So if you can see, I am blending this where we do not have any concealer or have any contour. So we're only putting that on the bare skin at the moment. And I'm using the bigger side of the sponge to do this. Now I'm going to blend down my neck just to make sure it's all seamless. Making sure that we get in the crease of the nose. Now we're going to flip the sponge over and use the small side, and we're going to go into where the concealer is, which is where we're going to highlight the face. So blend out the chin. Blend out all the eyes, blend out the nose. We're really going to try not to mess up the contour there. I'm going to go to the forehead, and if you can tell, I forgot to blend under my other eye before I started to blend out the contour on this side. I was half asleep while filming that this morning. I was up a lot earlier than I usually am, so I most definitely was not thinking straight. So now we're finally going to go back and blend that out. So it definitely messed up the side of the face just a little bit, but not too much. Nothing that we couldn't go back and fix. So we're just going to make sure it's all blended and pressed into the skin really nice. Now we're going to go blend out the nose and the forehead. We're making sure that we blend up into the hair, but we're also going to make sure that we're blending down so that we don't have any harsh lines of any sort. So we're really pressing it into the skin and making everything melt seamlessly. You can tell now we're just going to go over everything to really blend it. Now we're going with the e.l.f. Putty Blush. I didn't want to put this on beforehand because I thought this would just blend a little easier if we went on top of the foundation and the contour and the highlight to really just kind of mesh everything together. So that's why I waited for this step instead of doing it all together with everything else. So I do put this on the apples of my cheeks because I just like the way that that makes my face look. But I do bring this up on top of my cheekbone and almost run it to the corner of my eye just a bit. So I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Blush or Putty Primer brush, but I use it for my putty blush. I like the way that it applies. So we're down on the cheeks. Again, just making sure that we're building up the coverage exactly how we want it. And then I'm going to go on top of my nose just to make sure that we're bringing in a little bit of color, making it just a little bit rosy, right on the top and the tip. Now we're going in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Powder, and I'm going to set under my eyes first so that way it doesn't crease. So we're setting under the eyes, we're setting on top of the eyelids, and we're going around where we put the blush and the contour. So I'm setting everywhere that's light. So we're setting the foundation and we're setting the concealer with this. Making sure that we're just blending where everything is going to be set. We don't want anything sticky because we are in Arkansas. It is humid. It is hot. We do not want to be sticky and sweating off all of our makeup. Again, just pressing everything into the skin to make sure it is set. Now we're going with the Jaclyn Cosmetics Blush and Bronzer Duo, and the same brush I always use, so if you watch my videos then you'll know exactly which one this is. So we are going to be setting the contour that we did with the bronzer. That's why I did not set the contour with my setting powder, because I wanted to go over it with this bronzer just to deepen up the color a little bit. So we are going over that with the Jaclyn Cosmetics bronzer. We will also be going over that there above the hollows of our cheeks, on our forehead, and then to go back over where we contoured our nose just slightly. You could definitely set this with the setting powder if you chose to, but like I said, I wanted to deepen up that color just a little bit. That's why I decided to set it with my bronzer instead. So we're just blending, making sure everything is all meshed, nice and seamless. Going down the bottom of our chin just to elongate that. Now I'm going back in with my sponge where I had the setting powder and going over the edges of my forehead to make sure that everything is completely blended.